Asleep at the Wheel's Ray Benson to headline Briscoe Western Art Museum series. There are few musicians in Texas with as much knowledge about the Lone Star State and its music who can hold a candle to Ray Benson. The multiple Grammy-winning longtime leader of Asleep at the Wheel, singer, songwriter, and iconic raconteur is a Texas institution unto himself, all of which helps to explain why San Antonio's Briscoe Western Arts Museum is bringing him to the stage for the reboot of the event series Voices of the West, Living Legends. This is an event that benefits both the Alamo and the Briscoe. Benson will be interviewed on stage by John Spong of Texas Monthly fame and host of the One by Willie podcast on Wednesday, September 11 at the Briscoe Western Art Museum Jack Gunther Pavilion. Benson joined the Standard ahead of the event. Listen to the interview above or read the transcript below. Ray Benson. 3 people, really. Eddie Whittleson brought us down to play the armadillo. Doug Somm became my best pal and Willie Nelson. And Willie said, "I'll put you on shows." Now, you've got to understand that meant $100 to open the show. Yeah, we went by way of California. And of course, we'd gone out to the Bay Area, Oakland, Berkeley. Got a record deal because old Van Morrison had heard us and mentioned us, and Rolling Stone put us on a bunch of shows, and all of a sudden we were a hot topic. 72. I got there in August of 71. We were backing up country western singers Stoney Edwards, Freddie Hart, Connie Smith, and that's where I met Willie. He was on the road. We were backing up all these country singers, But having those recommendations to come on down was, hell yeah. Absolutely. We were out with him about 3 months ago. We toured with Willie for a week. I played guitar in his band and Asleep at the Wheel opened up. I mean, he's just the best. I wouldn't be here without Willie Nelson. I mean, on the good times and the bad times, I've known Willie for 50 years. We played at Floor's Country Store the other night down in Halotes with Robert Earl Keen, and I said to the crowd, you got to understand, it's been 50 years since our first appearance here with Willie Nelson. Well, first of all, it's Americana in its purest form. In other words, music of America. This could never have been developed anywhere else, and it was really just an organic thing they wanted to play for dances back in the 30s. The people were dancing a lot of swing music, Benny Goodman, Glenn Miller, etc., and so here are these folks with stringed instruments, fiddles, steel guitars that have a tradition of that. And they say, well, we can play that music. It'll just be a little different. And of course, the cowboy image was from Hollywood, right? The cowboy image was the singing cowboy, and that was Gene Autry and Tom Mix and that whole thing. And so it's just such an American thing based on blues music, jazz music, film music, cowboy music, and dance music. I did not. I went to see her concert with Big Brother in 1968. It was in Philadelphia at the Electric Factory, and their car wouldn't start, and I knew it had the automatic choke. You take the air filter off and you hit the thing back, and it fixes. She said, "Thank you, hon." She was incredible. Oh God, one of the great performances. Listen, all I can say is I have been so fortunate to have seen some of the great legends of blues, country, etc., because I was a young kid back in the late 60s, early 70s, and the older performers were like, "Oh, you're interested in us?" It was really cool. Oh, it's incredible. I mean, there's more per square inch. The hardest part is how to afford to live in Austin for the musicians. But the community has come. We have the Health Alliance for Austin musicians to help with health care. There's a housing initiative going around to try to make it affordable for musicians to live here. But there are dozens of fabulous, young, old, etc., it doesn't matter, every night playing around in Dallas, Houston, Austin, everywhere. The commercial part is a little tough because we've gone through a transition from the internet and all that and away from, a top 40 radio and to internet radio and to whatever. And so it's a big transition time. I don't know. There were times in this 54-year career when I asked myself the same question. I thought that I would be teaching guitar or being a disc jockey, to be honest with you. Yeah. Still do a little bit of voice work. But I really thought that was the calling because I love radio. You know, we lived radio. That's where all our great music was when I was growing up. Rarely could we afford a record. We'd go out and buy a record on rare occasions when we had saved up our money. But you got your music from the radio, and it was just all kinds. Everything from your basic AM/FM radio